Hey there folks, and welcome to this video. This one here is a general notice. I usually put these at the start of the week, but for the next couple of weeks they're going to be midweek occurrences. In this particular video, we're going to be having a look at what's going on this channel over on my other channel that I do. And we'll have a little bit of a discussion about what's going on in the world of motorsport. So to start off, as my PC whirs up into some more action, I'm hoping that tomorrow I'll get out my video on the second Super Formula race at Fuji, or the second weekend of it. And then on Saturday, my review for GT World Challenge Europe Sprint at Valencia and Super GT at Autopolis. I've watched both of those already. On Sunday, I'm hoping to get out a review for the Mexico City Grand Prix. And then on Monday, potentially GT World Challenge Europe Endurance at Barcelona, and then NASCAR at Martinsville. I just thought, I can't remember now, did I actually do one for the European Endurance at the Nürburgring? I should have thought about that before I started talking about this section, really, shouldn't I? Next general notice should be on Tuesday, as well as a review for IGTC at Indy, the Indy A Tower. I haven't had a chance to probably sit down and watch that one yet, so that is probably going to be my Friday. Over on CSRE, I'm hoping to get a video out tomorrow, if not over the weekend. It's been one that I've worked on for a while. I recorded the video for it, I think 2 weeks ago now, but I was too ill to actually sit down and talk. So as a result, it ended up being pushed back a couple of weeks. But hopefully I'm fighting fit enough to sit down and talk a bit more, because now that we've got a new AC Evo update coming out, we've got Assetto Corsa Rally coming out soon, Project Motor Racing's coming out soon, as well as NASCAR 25 on the computer. There's a lot of reviews that I need to do of new things, in addition to the retrospectives that I've been enjoying making as well. This one is a retrospective. It is Richard Burns Rally. So, if you've been sticking around on this channel for a long time because of my RBR videos, have a look over there. It's linked to the description down below. I think you'll enjoy it. But anyways, in terms of news for this week, I already really want to talk about two bits. So we're going to start off with Tapegate. It's funny that we're calling it that. But let's explain, shall we? Red Bull was fined, and they were threatened with a further fine after one of their crew was found to be leaving the grid late on Sunday at the United States Grand Prix. And what they were doing was they were removing the tape from the wall the McLaren uses as a marker for Lando Norris. Now, drivers will all find their own different points that they can use. Their own reference points. Ideally, something that's static, so it doesn't change when other cars are around, doesn't change with the lighting, for instance. For Lando and McLaren, they found that putting a piece of duct tape on the wall nearest to his grid slot is something that's helpful. And apparently, Red Bull have done this more than once, or at least somebody's been doing this more than once, because McLaren are like, oh yeah, it's not the first time this has happened. It's the first time somebody was caught. It's almost like the kind of Al Capone for taxes thing, right? They weren't caught removing the tape, they were caught still being on the grid too late. Which could have been an even worse penalty. It could have been a time penalty. Could have been... I seem to remember people getting DQ'd for that in the past in F1. But, yeah. It's one of those funny little things, right? That they decided, yeah, we're just going to remove the tape. But it just says about the extent to which F1 goes. F1 teams and drivers go to try and win. I'm going to link in the description below Gary Anderson's column on this, because he talks about Benetton's 1994 fire. You've probably seen the famous one of Jos Verstappen going up in flames at Hockenheim. He points out that at that time, the team, Benetton, blamed a junior employee removing a filter in the refueling rig that the manufacturer of the refueling rig said was possible, because they were trying to circumvent fuel flow regulations. They were trying to refuel with more fuel quicker than their rivals, and fuel spilled onto the car, and boom. So the idea that it's like, oh, it's a little bit of misunderstanding. You full well knew what you were doing. I think if you're able to style it off, it could end up being like the whole tyre water drama, right? With Horner alleging that there was water in McLaren's tyres, and then Zach Brown puts a bunch of tyre water labels on his water bottle for the next race. It could end up being like that. I don't want to be sitting here at the end of the season like we were in 2021 going, oh, if they hadn't done this, no bit of cheating here. Oh, the FIA should have intervened there. It's tiring. It means that we start talking about whether or not somebody deserved a championship when every champion's deserved to be champion in some extent. Yeah. I just wanted to talk about it because it's interesting, isn't it? What's also interesting is Sebastian Ogier has been given a lot of different interviews recently. And one of the ones that he gave was one where he was talking about, as Luke Barry's reporting in Dirtfish, who he'd like to see replace Carlo Rovanperä when he retires from the WRC and goes off to single-seaters. Ogier suggested Oliver Solberg, which would be amazing. It really would. Now, is Ogier going to be looking at coming back as well? I can't remember off the top of my head if we know if we have an Ogier next year. And what kind of an Ogier we have. Maybe he's like, oh yeah, you know what? I went for number 9. It didn't work out. I'm going to go for number 9 again in 2026 and then step away in 2027. Because when I did my preseason predictions for the WRC, I said that somebody was going to retire from the sport at the end of the year. One of the champions. I wouldn't have been surprised back then if you told me it was Rovanperä, because after all, Carla took the year out, didn't he? He essentially gap yeared in 24. When he did that, and when he was enjoying the GT racing, when he was enjoying his drifting, I was like, he's not long for the WRC. He wants to go off and do other things, like Verstappen says that he wants to. The difference is that, well, all of these other different gigs with Toyota pay about the same as WRC. Whereas when you step away from F1, there is a massive amount of money that you then lose. So I can kind of understand why Verstappen sticks around more. And is like, oh, can I just do this little side quest where I hop off the Nürburgring for a weekend? It's a shame that that's the way it is, but that's where the money is. And cash is king in motorsport. But yeah, I was expecting it to be more likely to be an Ogier be like, you know what, I've been enjoying all of this, but I want to spend more time with my family. Or Anoint Tanak being so disillusioned and frustrated with the sport that he'd walk away. I didn't expect it to be Neuville. I expected it more likely to be Rovanperä, but even then I thought he might still see out this rule set for 26. Yeah, Oliver Solberg. He's been great in WRC2, and there are so many WRC2 talents that deserve a call-up for Rally 1. I mean, we're going to be seeing some of them in Saudi Arabia, and I was thinking about talking about this as its own segment as well. Nasser Al-Attiyah is coming back to do Saudi Arabia in a Puma, as Martin Sesks is going to be doing Saudi Arabia in a Puma as well. But one of the ones who's most deserving of an additional chance is Oliver Solberg. That Hyundai was just all over the place in 2022. And he's spent his time rebuilding in Rally 2 machinery. A bit like Adrian Formeau before him, a bit like Elfyn Evans before him. He's a worthy WRC2 champion. He would have been a worthy one last year when Semi Pyre ended up taking it. Rally 1 return is what's required. And given the extent to which he's been trying to make these deals work with different organisations. Remember, he was looking at Puma until there was a conflict between him being sponsored by Monster and Ford being sponsored by Red Bull. He more than deserves a shot at a Rally 1 car, and Toyota's the best place to be right now. I'm certain of it. I have a feeling that he would pick up a win or two. I don't think he'd contend for a title in his first full-time season with Toyota. But I'm really interested to see what he would do regardless. And that's that for this video, folks, because I've been talking for way too long. I've been talking for over 10 minutes. And given that the RBR recording session I did just before this was nearly half an hour long, and given that I said I'm still ill, I should probably rest my voice a little bit. So thanks for watching. Thanks for joining. And until next time, as always, bye for now.